flip man. It's the flip man. Flip man, flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
And we're live for show number 152, Full House. We're here to answer your questions about real estate investing with a twist on being able to make money in real estate without using your cash or credit. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Periscope. So if you would do this for us, no, not that many people here yet, but share and like, share and like, share and like. If you want to get your questions answered live right here with both of the ladies, simply go to comps101.com. That's comps, COMPS 101.com. And you'll see a red button there that says join us live. Over to Adria.
All right, guys. Welcome on this Thursday evening. July is almost gone. Tomorrow's it. Like it's the last day. Then August, September, October, November, December. We got 5 more months left in this thing. Five months, which gives you plenty of time to educate yourself and go get a check. Wholesaling real estate, little to no cash or credit. This is the place to be on Thursdays. You ask the questions, I read the questions, and the beautiful Miss Renee here and my guy Ty will answer those questions for you. So, without further ado, we're gonna get started. But Renee, how you been?
I'm good. How about y'all?
It's been a week. It's been a thing. Yeah. It's been a thing right here. You know, some extensions on some restrictions that we've had over here in Alabama. You know, Meemaw. I Meemaw say we got to go a whole nother month with mask, which is fine. We just got to do it. And so we working on it, but I just hope everyone is being safe and being precautious of where they're traveling and who they're around. And the sooner we take better care of ourselves and our loved ones, the sooner we can get off this little hump. But we're all about positivity here. So let's go through a little shout out. We got Black Love, Carol Foster, Richmond, Jareen. I see you. Thank you for joining us. Diedrich, Simply Cloud, Girl Bye. I see you. Girl Bye says, hey, Ty. Eugene Waddy, Cool Kid, Dwight, and Jasmine Campbell. Thank you all for joining us. As Ty mentioned it earlier, go ahead and tag a friend. Tell them to join us as well. Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, TikTok, across all social media. Go ahead and start placing those questions and go to that link that Ty mentioned earlier to get your questions asked live.
Comps101.com.
There you go, that thing right there. Comps101.com is where you need to be. So I see you in Charlotte. You know what? Doreen Battle. We're just gonna jump right into this thing, Granny. Doreen says driving for dollars doesn't produce any leads for her. And that might be him. I'm sorry, just doesn't produce any leads. So what could that be? What could be the problem there?
Are you driving in neighborhoods that you may find more vacancies? You know, so when we drive for dollars, we're looking for properties that look vacant, that look unoccupied, that look, you know, like the low-hanging fruit, that look, you know, ran down or whatever the case may be, grass is high. So, you know, when you drive for dollars, it's better to drive in neighborhoods that you're going to find more dilapidated properties, because even in the good neighborhoods where everyone is living in their properties and everything is on the up and up, you won't know if they are in the middle of foreclosure. So, you know, the key to driving for dollars is just looking for properties that look vacant, that look unoccupied, and that you can give them a call or skip trace them or send them a yellow letter to see if they want to sell. Is that what you're looking at, or what exactly are you seeing as you drive for dollars? And what do you think?
I guess it depends. How many? I would love to know how many See, this would be a good question if you were go to comps101.com and so we can ask you some questions on what, you know, your process or whatever. But assuming that how many houses have you written down that were vacant? Okay. How did you go about contacting them? How many of them did you reach? All right. So all of those factors are important or whatever. So if you could maybe answer those two questions, maybe Adrian will see them or whatever. But again, if you want to ask them live with us so we can get an idea. I know everybody don't want to be on camera or whatever. You know, so a little follow up there maybe would help. Next question.
All right. Lester Brandy, I see you on TikTok and all the way in New York by way of Alabama.
New York City.
Marlene Business, I see you. Wilma Whitlow and Carabano and Beanie. Thank you. What's up to you guys as well? The next question is going to come from Carol Foster. And I know we talk about this week to week, but newbie questions are most definitely welcome. And it helps get a jump start that may have missed it previous week. So her question is, can you explain proof of funds and how does that factor into our deal? So not necessarily what it is, because we can Google that, but we'll ice over that. But how or when would that occur in your wholesaling deal?
So I can start it off. So, I mean, just to say, I mean, proof of funds is your proof that you have the funds to buy. And so the way that factors into your deal, you really don't need proof of funds as a wholesaler, but there are some real estate agents and some just savvy sellers that, you know, just want to make sure that you have the fund that will ask you for proof of funds. So as you know, a wholesaler, we're going to put those properties on the contract. And sometimes you're dealing with a realtor or a savvy investor or a savvy homeowner, they're going to ask for proof of funds. So it doesn't necessarily factor into the deal, but sometimes it could make or break your deal from being accepted because they may require that you have that proof of funds.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that, Ty?
What was the question? I'm
proof
sorry.
of funds. How would you apply them to? When would they factor in on the deal? Oh,
okay. I'm sorry. They had somebody comment on TikTok they couldn't see us. I would work figuring that out. Okay, but yeah, normally, like I think she said, realtors are normally going to be involved. When you're dealing with just true motivated sellers, what you have to understand, the mindset of someone that's going to sell a property cheap enough to you, where it's going to make sense as a wholesale deal, a cash deal, proof of funds is the last thing is on their mind. They're looking for speed. Hopefully you presented yourself as a professional, which you are if you understand what you're doing, and obviously doing the right thing. And so proof of funds is not going to be something normally they're going to ask for. Only time that really becomes an issue if you got a real estate agent involved or whatever. So.
All right.
Did I answer that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Design Mills represent Detroit, Flacco, and Rhode Island. Thank you all for joining us. I see you, Arlene in Georgia. Mr. Jamal from the IE. That ain't one I know.
We got somebody in the thing. Okay.
Yeah. Big Duds from Newport News. Ty, this question is specifically for you. You ready for it?
Yeah.
What is the origin of being Gator? Give us some examples of being Gator. Is there a Gator solution to the problem of not finding leads while driving for dollars? What do you do to get Gator?
Well, first,
you
need the Gator.
Need the Gator. You ain't got to get the Gator.
You see that bite? You see that bite on the Gator?
It's about at the love thing.
I know, ridiculous.
About $60 right here. All for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Gator basically means, okay, let me give you some examples of Gator. Somebody that'll go door knock is Gator. I think I've heard Renee say she's done that before.
Absolutely.
That's tough for me. I've done it, but not in that sense of cold and we ain't got, no. That's a Gator, right? Somebody that's Gator Now, I got some Gator tendencies. You know, I'm more of a poodle. I got some Gator tendencies.
Oh, wow.
Now, Gator will go, if there's a for sale sign in the yard, you go look at the house, blah, you know it's a great deal, sale by the owner. You circle around the block, you know what I'm saying? You know, watch you so they don't see you, and you go pull that sign up out the yard. You know what I'm saying? And put it in your car and go throw it in the trash.
Oh, yeah.
That's Gator.
That's what y'all doing up.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm saying I got it on the contract.
No, I'm getting it. That's Gator. That's right. I get it.
Yeah, there's no reason to still, you know what I'm saying? A Gator do this. I guess I might be a little Gator. I
might be a little Gator. That's real Gator.
A Gator do this when the seller won't give you a key on just a raggedy, you know what house or whatever. They letting you inspect it. They really not walking around with you. A Gator will leave a window open where, you know, your buyers can enter the property. You know,
Okay.
It's closed, but it's unlocked. Hey, a Gator will. Now this sounds like some unethical stuff I'm doing here, I guess.
But that's what Gator do. That's what Gator is. You gotta boss up to be a Gator.
No harm was ever done in any of these examples. Yeah, this is for entertainment purposes only. But so you know, so you get it. You know, you're doing what it takes. You're doing what the most people won't do. You know, stay within the law, of course, or whatever. But you're doing what most people won't do. What may be considered a little edgy. Normally, that's the case. Most people that are just strong salespeople or whatever, when somebody tells them no, that doesn't mean, that just means, you didn't understand what I said. Let me explain this to you again, because I know you didn't.
Let me turn it around a little bit.
Obviously, you didn't understand what I said. That's like a lot of men are like that when they meet a woman or whatever, and she's not going with his advances, and he'd be like, "Oh, wait, let me
make sure you understand.
Make sure you understand what I'm trying to say here."
Trying to do it, you know.
So it has some over aggressive tendencies versus the norm. You're definitely an extrovert, I would say, in most cases. Where I would consider myself an introvert. I know it doesn't seem that way, but if you met me, you would see. So you know those type of things. So hopefully I explained it. You think I explained it?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
I get it.
Apply.
Go that extra mile. I work the competition.
And how would you be Gator in that instance? She said, take Jaren's question, which is, I'm not getting any leads, driving for dollars. How do you make that Gator?
Okay, you can make that Gator by putting bandit signs in every one of them yards. Now you're gonna get cussed out. You know what I'm saying? That some of them gonna be like, call you laughing. Hey, what are you offering for? You got my attention. You know what I'm saying? That's a Gator move. Or you go put a big laminated note on there so the weather won't ruin it. Hey, I would love to buy this house on the front door and tape it up there with duct tape. You know, where the message still can be read or whatever. That can be Gator or whatever. What else do you do driving for dollars? Being Gator, you see a mailman in the neighborhood. A lot of people do this though, but I think still a Gator move. You reach out to that mailman, say, hey man, here's my card. All the vacant houses on your route, man. Any of them you let me know about, and I close on them, $1,000, no question asked. If we close on it, you know that's a Gator or whatever.
Doing the same thing.
Now going to the neighbors or something. Just hey, Gator move, just getting out and just knocking. Well, that ain't the same thing, but you whenever you see a vacant house, a Gator move would be out. Go to the house on the right, and the house on the left is just sitting in between, and knock and see if you know anything about that situation. Because trust me, they are tired of looking at that house messing up.
Right. A lot of them know their neighbors. They know the number.
Yeah, they know the situation.
They can call the neighbor, you know, so.
Yeah.
Get Gator. You got 5 months left in 2020.
Oh.
Man, are you kidding me?
Oh, I got it.
I got it. So the next question we're going to send from TikTok is Snapchat. Can you talk about the rent to own with people with not so good credit? So how, I guess from the creative financing side of that, maybe?
Yeah.
I can start that off. I think that's a good question because you're probably going to do a rent to own with people with bad credit. Why? Because people with good credit can go buy a house. They don't need a rent to own situation. So most people who are renting to own, they have credit issues. So your focus is to probably do what I do is do like a 2 to 3 year lease, you know, where it's more like a purchase lease, and then they buy me out upon that 3rd year. So you, what I was about to say, I'm sorry, I lost train of thought. So the key is that you, I lost train of thought. What's the question? I'm sorry.
Hey, rub it off on
It's
been a long day, y'all.
Yes.
Oh, bad credit. Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So a client, I mean, most rent to own situation is probably someone with bad credit. You want to give them enough time to fix their credit. And it's very important that they know that you got to buy me out in 2 to 3 years. You know, unless you're doing like a 30-year promissory note with your client, that's different. But you really want them to buy you out in about 2 to 3 years or 1 year, whatever you all agree with. But during that time, it's very important for that buyer to get their credit right, so they can go to the bank and buy you out.
Okay.
No, we good. No, but rent to own, yeah, normally it's a situation where they're credit challenged and they're looking for an opportunity where the owner will act as the bank. It's really that simple. Sometimes people with good credit prefer to go that route or whatever, just to keep that off of their credit. You know, they may want to do some other things to leverage their credit to make money versus having it tied up, you know, with a $400,000 mortgage or whatever, and it bleeds into their credit worthiness or ability to pay. Yeah, so you know, debt to income ratio or whatever. Because if it's on your credit report, you can't just make up anything. Well, not that you would want to do that, but you may have negotiated something with your landlord. You know what I'm saying? Whereas one is easier verified than other. Like, so you may want to leverage your credit for something else as far as an investment to make more money, which Renikia is an expert at. So. But yeah, normally that's what it is. It's just you're taking advantage of someone that's going to act as the bank, who the owner of the property is going to act as the bank. Or what I just did a TikTok on that, and you know, probably one of the more popular ones I've done, or whatever. So,
and a lot of times, if I'm dealing with a challenge and a renter or rent to own person with challenged credit, I will make sure that they get into a credit repair program. Even if it's my own program, it's a one-stop shop. You get your credit right, you know, just to make sure. If you want, I mean, it's your note. You can do a 30-year note with them, or you can have it balloon in 2 to 3 years, but they need to finance their own deal. So just be mindful of that when you're dealing with people with challenged credit.
All right. So Daryl Barnes wants to know, what would you recommend? Deal Machine and PropStream, or both, or one not the other? He's on a tight budget. If you're not aware, PropStream, aka Dealulator, aka PropStream, an affiliate program that Ty has, is an awesome tool to add to your wholesaling tool chest. It is a monthly subscription free. You're welcome to go to dealulator.com, where you can take advantage of a 5-day free trial and see all the awesome features of that. And it has just recently, within the last 2 weeks, been created in app form. So you can most definitely have dealulator.com as an app. So, but Ty, to answer that question, do you need both or one or what?
For what now?
Deal Machine versus Dealulator.
Oh, I know what Deal Machine is. It's basically asking Burger King what they think about McDonald's.
Sell burgers.
Well,
business.
No.
McDonald's always.
Who you think I'm going to tell you to where you think I'm going to take you to eat at? You know, but from my understanding, especially since before the Dealulator PropStream app came out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, whatever it's been, Deal Machine had them on the app side of the game, but now it's not even close from my understanding. So.
All right. And Richmond says, by the way, thank you for dealulator.com. So again, I highly suggest that each one of you go to dealulator.com and take advantage of that 5-day free trial. But guess what? If you go to dealyouLater.com, you also have access to the Is It a Deal calculator, where you plug and chug your numbers to see if your numbers add up. Second, you also have access to the one-page contract that Ty's been using since the beginning of his career. You can just simply go to the contract, plug in your information, send it out via email, print it if you just got to. But all of that is available for you on dealyouLater.com. The contract is free. The plug and chug calculator is free. And then you got 5-day free trial on the Deal You Later, aka PropStream app. So most definitely direct your attention there if you're serious about this wholesaling thing. Now, Joe on TikTok says, Flipman, I'm in Southern California. What do you do once you get a contract deal here? How to close it? So Southern California isn't going to be any different than North Alabama. So once you get that contract, what do you do to close it? What happens next, Rennie?
Okay, so it's a wholesale contract?
Yes, we'll say it's a wholesale. It doesn't specify, but we'll say it's a wholesale contract.
So you got your property under contract with the seller. Most importantly, you need to find an end buyer. So my first thing was start marketing not my contract, but marketing my deal to my end buyer, trying to find someone that would come in and I can sign my contract too. Once I identify that end buyer, you hopefully that their due diligence and earnest money all ties with your due diligence and earnest money. So it just becomes seamless with both of the contract. If I have 5 days from the seller, I'm going to probably give my end buyer 3 days because I need a day or so to regroup if that person doesn't come through. So I never try to give them more due diligence than my current contract. Once I identify them, they're ready to go, you send both of those contracts to the attorney, and the attorney will take care of the rest. Now, you may want to send, I think Todd got a really great worksheet where it's kind of like instructions to the closing attorney. You want to let your closing attorney know exactly how to structure your deal. You want to make sure they have the contact information to the end buyer and the seller so they can contact them to get any of that buyer seller information to get that deal closed. Let me see.
Yeah, she's referring to my closing detail sheet. All you have to do is just go to YouTube and do a search for how do I get paid? Well, just do Flipman, how do I get paid? Seller and buyer. And it's going to be like a green thumbnail or whatever. That video goes from A to Z on how to do that.
All right. Spacco says, hello from South Africa, a long ways away, but thank you for joining us today. And Chaz the Hitman. Yes, this is real. What do you mean is this real? We're real. Picture subtitle, show is real. Okay. Yeah, this is real, guys. This can be done. It's all about.
Oh, he ain't asking if we're real. He asking if this business real.
Yeah.
Oh, all the above.
It's real as the black skin on my face, and assuming you're from South Africa and of African descent. It's real as the black skin on your face too, my man. Yes, sir.
Real. Now, Sylvanus Adeneke, I was going to say Sylvanus. It says, I'm Gator. I tested positive for COVID-19 and was in the hospital literally all last week. On July 22nd, I closed on 4 wholesale deals for $14K. Wow, in the hospital bed. Gator.
Wow.
Gator.
Hey, that's Gator.
I think I know him. Yes, good job.
Yes. Glad you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling better. You necessarily
hope
that you are.
So does it work? Does it work? Yes. He did it in COVID on the hospital.
That is Gator, baby.
Yes.
That's Gator.
Now,
he never lost sight. He never lost sight.
Yes.
You get the Gator Award tonight. I don't know if anybody can top that one.
I don't even know anybody to top that one. I'm good with that one. Yes, congratulations on closing out those deals. If that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will. We're going to go ahead and take our first call, which is going to be from Jason. Jason, you're not there. I don't see you, but I think you're waiting and holding out.
Hey, man. Hey.
Oh, no, Jason. Gregory Jackson.
Video, Gregory. Hey. Playboy.
Okay, Gregory's out. Okay. Guys,
Way too long.
You're welcome to go to comps101.com. That's comps101.com. If you want to join Renika and Ty live and come on board and ask your question. So we'll keep going with the stream questions. Mila, you say, and this is from Instagram, my boyfriend and I are trying to get into wholesaling. Well, you're in the right place. You're in the absolute right place. There's over 500 plus videos available on YouTube. Daily content being uploaded. We're here every Thursday. We're answering your questions. So if you want to get into it, the best way to do it is consistently educate yourself, binge on the videos, get out there and grind it out, and then stack your coins. Hernandez Homebuyer, also from Instagram, says, when you finalize your contract from a buyer and seller, where are you supposed to bring those contracts, and who's the one that pays you at the end?
Well, we sort of just answered that question.
Sort of just answered that. I have to read it because I've been not really reading it beforehand.
I thought you did that.
Fast.
Yeah, we did.
Yes. But we kind of just answered that question. If you go back about 5 minutes, like 20 minutes into this live, that question will be answered. Mr. or Mrs. Hernandez Homebuyer, just make sure you go ahead and play this back. It will be available at the end. So Westside Martian says, how does owner financing work when you have back taxes owed?
It won't matter. If it's that individual, the person that's gonna be the mortgagee, if you do a deal where the deed is not recorded, then it won't matter. Like a lease option, I guess a land contract, it won't matter. But if you actually exchange ownership through the deed, then it can matter because it can be attached to you doing that transaction, from my understanding. So,
all right.
You didn't hear it?
No, Okay. I misread the call. What was the question?
He was asking if he has back taxes and he's trying to do owner financing, would that affect the deal? And I was just telling him only if the deed is recorded.
Right. Because you got to pay it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So going next to our question. Let's see here.
But you want to know how much those back taxes are. So when you do record a deed, all those taxes are gonna transfer with it. So
yeah, you need to be handling that some form.
So you don't inherit all those back taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're doing your text blasting for buyers or leads, both ways, what is your response when they say, "How did you get my number?"
The internet.
Internet goes undefeated.
Public record.
Out there.
The internet. Have you ever given your number out to anybody? They can't say no. What's the purpose of having one?
Everybody can be Googleable. Everybody's about Google.
Oh yeah.
It's something out there that his background is checked. You know, those background companies, you put people information in, you can get their information.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to that one-page contract that, again, is available to each of you on digulator.com, Samuel Perkins from Facebook says, I've listened repeatedly about how to fill out the contract. The only part that stumps me is the earnest money deposit. How do I calculate the earnest money deposit, and who do we give the earnest money to?
There's no stumping. It's what you negotiate. If you send over a contract with $10 on it, or 50 or 100, they hit you back, say, hey, this is not acceptable, and you all work from there, or they don't say anything and just sign it. Who keeps the earnest money? Whoever's going to close the deal. Now, if you want to if they want to like somewhere to check, then you're going to have to line up an attorney, which won't be difficult. Hey, well, I'm going to close this real estate transaction. You hold the earnest money deposit for me. Even if it's a situation, once you get a buyer, they don't want to use them, you can always retrieve it. You say, well, we're going to go in a different direction or whatever. You know, they'd be okay with that. You know, so. Or a title.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take our first live. This is Gregory. Gregory, get
ready.
ready.
Greg ready now?
Greg ready. Greg is ready.
Let's get it.
I love seeing their faces before I bring them on. Hey, Gregory,
How
how
you
are
doing?
you?
I'm doing fine.
Where are you calling from?
Houston.
Houston.
Texas.
What's your question?
So I'm kind of running into a problem. I can't like log into like PropStream. So I was wondering if there's any other sources I can use to like get the same results.
When you say you can't log in, what do you mean? You got technical issues?
Like I'm trying to log in and it's like mistaking me for someone else, so it's not letting me create a because I never had an account before.
Yeah, that's just a support question. Just text me tomorrow, and I'll get you over to the right person to get that fixed. Because if you sign up for the free trial, or definitely if you're paying money, you need to be able to get into it. So just text me tomorrow. Text or call, doesn't matter. 205-492-3425.
Okay.
If you go to digulator.com, the number's on the site.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know.
All right, no problem, man.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
But I do actually like his question. He's saying, so he has support issues, but let's talk about it. I've done my 5-day free trial. I'm not in the position to commit the money to dealyourlater.com. I need to use that to say buy bandit signs or go towards bandit signs instead. What resources are available minimally for free that can give me the same services?
Well, nothing's going to give you the same services for free. But you, as far as comping, if you'll go to comps101.com, there's some videos at the bottom of the page that'll show you how to use Zillow to comp your properties. All right. Now, as far as it does list and all that stuff, you're not going to be able to get a list for free. Right. So that's X'd out. Owner information, who owns the property and their mailing address, that's normally public information. And you can go through the county website to find that information. So all county websites are not built equally. Most of them, they put them online in 1999. They haven't changed them since. 2000, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them are like that. They have not changed them since, so they're not user friendly. A lot of times they're not easy to find as far as the information. You have to understand where that information will be. A lot of times it'll be available through the tax records, tax assessor, tax collector, whatever it's called in your city, market, state, or county or whatever. So those are some of the free ways to get owner information. What else we had? The comps, but the list, you know, that you're not going to be able to get a list for free or whatever. So, and transaction history of the property, what they paid for, and all that stuff. You may be able to get that on the county level, depending on how detailed their information is. But again, all county websites are not built equally, and most of them are not user friendly. Most of them haven't been updated since 1999 when they were added. So, or whenever they were added, in the early 2000s. So,
all right, there you have it. Now, this is a question where we're talking about comps and figuring out property values, after impaired value, ARV. Matthew Mitchell has a good question that I would want to know. How do you go about comping a house that has an apartment built onto it? Is it still just a single family home, or do you consider it something else, driving revenue with the added addition in the back?
What do you think, Reniki?
That's a really good question. Is it more like a mother-in-law suite? Is it like a duplex type of feel? You know, so it's gonna really go down.
I would go
I'm assuming it's a separate structure, so it's not like, you know, it's a separate structure.
Separate.
I know what I'll do.
How do you comp that out?
I'm going to just off the top. Well, I know off the top. That's what I'm gonna do. That's just a bonus.
Bonus. That's how you gotta look at it. The bonus.
I'm not even taking that in consideration. They throwing that in. When I may do a little more than I probably would, but for the most part, they're throwing that in.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, it's like we're talking about
house, like
a $1.5 million house in the front, and the other house will probably be 300,000 in most neighborhoods, then yeah, we got something there.
We
But
got
you
some.
talking
That's different. We talking about like structure in the back. Can you connect the two? Do it have to be separate? You know, what are we looking at? Can I connect the two and make it one big house? So now my comps is, you know, a little bit bigger. So, but like Todd said, it's really gonna be like a bonus. Because you got to think about it. It's going to be comped. It's going to be comped based on the properties around it. So if all the properties around it doesn't have that little suite in the back, then it's really going to, you're not going to reap the maximum value of that in the back.
Nope.
Because everything sold around it, sold without it.
Yep. They overbuilt.
You can overbuild in the neighborhood and never reap the benefits.
Never reap the upside, the money.
Well, not until you start renting it out.
Well, if that's your end game, you may can pay more. If an investor may look at it that way or whatever. It just depends on how good of a structure it is. A lot of times those will be something that need to be torn down. So that'll matter how good of a structure is it. You know, I've seen it over the years tons of times, and that's just something need to be torn down. You can't include that.
Right. No need to have it turn into a storage or something.
Joseph O'Boyle. Yes, I see you. You're up next. Hey.
Oh, he's in the thing.
How you doing,
Touchdown. What's happening, man?
Yeah. So my question is, after repair value, how do I get the estimated repair cost? Is there like some kind of formula, or like how do you guys do that?
Yeah, Ty has a better formula than me. I'm at a point when I'm eyeballing stuff, and if I can't eyeball it, I'm gonna bring a GC out there so I can get my numbers matter of fact, because I don't like hypothetical numbers when it comes to maximizing my wholesale fee or just maximizing my profits. The more matter of fact my numbers is, the more I can maximize it. So you can eyeball it, or I think Ty has a great formula you can use too.
Yeah, now I got these from other people, right? You know, I always like to reward those that have rewarded me with some extra knowledge, but it makes total sense. Like she said, I used to just eyeball it, so it was hard for me to explain it. Let me just say this: they educated me on how to explain it, because I could just look at a house and just say, "Hey, it needs 50 grand or whatever." I may be wrong, but I ain't gonna be that wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But now what you can do is, if the house is livable, $25 per square foot. If it's not livable, $40 per square foot. Now, if you don't know what that means, if you're like, what the hell does that mean? You probably know what it means. I'm just talking about other people that listen. Is that what you'll do is you'll take the square footage of a house. All houses have square footage. Whenever you look up a property on Zillow, if that property pulls up on Zillow, in most cases, not always, but in most cases, they're going to show what the county is showing as the square footage. Now, sometimes that's off because people will build and do additions that were not permitted. So the county is not going to have any record that the square footage has changed or whatever. But normally, I would say probably, what'd you say, Renika? Maybe 70-80% of the time is right or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Outside of what you just stated, where they kind of just build something without the county knowing. Yeah. So
we'll just say 1,000 square feet. If it's livable, that's $25 per square foot. So the repair cost would be $25,000. If it's not livable, $40 times that 1,000 square feet, that will be $40,000 in repairs. So that's how you would plug that into your numbers when you're trying to come up with an idea of a MAO, as they call it, maximum allowable offer. I came up with my own new term, great deal offer.
Great deal offer.
I think that's what I said. Yeah, GDO.
I like it.
Now, are you ever getting an inspector or general contractor to go with you like before, or is that not happening?
Well, you can, like she said, and that'll help you out. What you can do, you can do that 2 or 3 times, make great notes, try to get some insight on why they came up with this amount. A lot of times, so much of the repairs are based on the square footage, whether it's flooring, whether it's roofing, well, not really the windows. They just count them, and depending on what type of windows you want to put in, they know what the labor will be. Now it's just going to depend on what type of windows you'll put in there. The heating and air. Oh, another guy. I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought that up. Another guy, my man Miles, did an interview with me, and the one of the buyers that he was dealing with, he said he goes by the 4 7s as the first layer of repairs. And what those 4 7s are means $7,000 each, which that may range a little more in different markets. But he's saying it costs $7,000 for heating and air, $7,000 for roofing, and that can change, depending on the size or whatever, but just generalizing. $7,000 for plumbing, $7,000 for electrical. So if you have all of the 4 7s that are needed, which normally that means that house is not livable, then that's $28,000. You might as well round that up to 30 grand just off the top, right? That's not even including any painting, any flooring, countertops, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting into a serious rehab that, but you start with that 4 7. So a couple ways to go about it. You can do the $25, $40 example, or you could go start with the 4 7 as a base or whatever. That makes sense?
Yep, that makes sense now.
And that's a good way to eyeball it when you wholesaling, because you just want to give them a number. It's up to that end buyer to really do their own due diligence. I said it cost me $20,000. It may cost you $45,000, but you got to do your own numbers. So don't be afraid. If you feel confident about your numbers, hey, that's what I see. But you always let them know you want to do your own due diligence when they're out there. But if you are fixing and flipping, make sure you get a GC. You want to make sure your numbers is right. You don't want to guesstimate or anything. You want a real GC to give you a real scope of work if you are really purchasing that property and flipping that property on your own.
So if you find out, go ahead.
Well, where are you at? Where are you located?
Yeah. So if you were to get in that situation where, like, you thought it was 20, and then the end buyer saying it's going to be 45, would you then go back and try to renegotiate the price with the seller?
If you got a couple of buyers saying somewhat the same thing or whatever, what you think, Renee?
If you got a couple buyers saying the same thing, I mean, absolutely. So if all your buyers are saying the same thing, you want to go back and renegotiate and say, hey, I really got my GC out there, and it's going to be a little bit more than I think. So I'm going to have to, decrease this by this much, and see what we can work out and what we can do, and, look at it like that. But like I said, the key is to maximize your wholesale fee, is try to make your numbers as accurate as possible, because you got to run your numbers based on the rehab.
That's all I got. Thank you.
All right, what city were you calling from, my man?
Philadelphia. I was actually on last week too.
Oh, you were? Okay. All right, that's what's up.
If I could go up to $400,000 on the duplex.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah. Okay, yes, sir.
He wasn't willing for term, so I'm looking into an FHA loan maybe. I really like the property.
Okay.
Oh, you want to hold?
Yeah, I want to keep it. Yeah. Do you guys know the rules on that? Like if like
what is the value of it?
The value of it? The value is like this one has a studio in the basement too. So that's kind of like an add-on. So it's like a duplex with a studio in the basement, and it's all currently rented out. It's not in the best shape. Like, it's all pretty much outdated, but it's all rented out. So
what's the value? What are they asking?
He's asking $345,000.
$345,000. How much is it worth?
Is it worth? Well, the duplex the duplexes around there go for $315 without the studio.
Without the studio, he's going $345. So what is the value of the property?
You're saying as of today, how shape it's in now?
So is it valued at $340? How much he want to sell it for? $340?
Yeah, $340. Yeah.
Oh, so he's asking full
price. Is it valued at $342?
He's asking full price pretty much. That's the problem, and it's all outdated right now. So I would.
I would, if I were you, my man. If he's asking full price and it's outdated, pass on that one. Don't fall in love with the deal.
Because you got to renovate it. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But the reason why I ask is we do have buy and hold loans. So if you did want to go or couldn't go traditional route and go to the bank, you have a private note that is non-financials, no tax returns, no bank statements, no income verification, no pay stubs, and we can lend up to 75% of the asset's value, and we provide a true 30-year note. So so that's just kind of give you an idea of another way of taking that property down if you do want to hold on to it. But the key is to try to find properties that has equity in there, so you can really walk into those deals and hold on to them long term without you having to bring a lot of money or any money to the table. or down payment wise?
It was free and clear, so I was trying to get it on terms, but he's kind of like, I'm retiring. I don't really want to deal with any of that stuff. I just want the money and I want to be out, because he owned it for 45 years.
He's overpriced.
Yep.
Yeah. He's in la la land. Yeah, just pass on that one, man. Yeah, just move on that one. You can find better deals than that.
Appreciate that. Thanks for helping.
All right, no problem.
All right, thank you. Okay. Oh, let's see here. You still loving it?
What?
Your live questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yes.
Okay. So
Let's get it.
Thomas Booker, YouTube. So to find out if a property has liens, would you only look at the county records department? What about the IRS, child support, city fees on the property during your research? So what other type of property liens could there be, and when would you find those out? Or is that all come out washed in the title search?
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's what the attorney do. He won't find me going to the county pulling titles.
No.
That's what we pay the title company to do. We pay the attorney to do that. So it comes out prior to closing, and if it comes out, we'll go back to the seller. Hey, you got some liens you got to pay for, and the seller got to take care of that. And to be honest with you, we know our liens. We're just hoping that it don't show up. So they're not surprised about those liens that they already know about. So you just go back and make sure they take care of them.
All right, there you have it. Hopefully that answered your questions. Facebook user, we did get that already answered about estimating repairs. You just will come back and watch this video a little later and get that question answered. Joanna Key, oftentimes we have the questions about land. So she wants to know, how do you comp on land that doesn't have an address, but just a parcel number instead?
You can Google by the parcel number. So you can take that parcel number, put it into the county records, and do a search. You can search by the parcel number.
And I would use the assessed value of the county and start at 50% and work your way down as far as pricing. And they'll own a finance land too, you know. Matter of fact, that's in a lot of cases easier, because there's really just a drive-by and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And whoever is interested, some people just like to own land, whether it's perceived to have any value today. They just think it may be 15 years from now or whatever, that, hey, you know, cha-ching, and that happens all the time. Or whatever. It takes the patience of Joe. But yeah. Yeah.
And another thing, so getting the assessed value is definitely probably one of the best ways to just kind of get a quick value of it. And one of the other things that I do as well, I will determine what is the best use of the property, because why would I sell you a $15,000 piece of land that you can build $1 million property on? So I'm going to assess that as well, somewhere based on what you can build on. And if I can stretch a little bit more over the assessed value, I would try to get a little bit more out of it. If I know what could be their exit strategy, if I know the value of what they can build, then I can back my way in and see if I can stretch a little bit more money off of the top of the price of the land.
Okay. Mahalia, I'm gonna go ahead and ask your question to flip. It is in regards to Deal You Later. So I have the PropStream app. How can I find distressed vacant houses on there? She just wants to know what filters would she use.
Well, you would go to, you do non-owner occupied. So it'll say owner occupied, hit no, right? And then you if you just look up a vacant, they're going under the quick list, I think is what it's called. You select vacant, all right, and then on the property characteristics, you're going to select residential, and then there's going to be another tab for single family. And then if you're looking for properties where individuals own them and not corporate or entities or banks or anything or LLCs, then you're going to select on the ownership information individual, and then hey, get the ride. It should populate you. You'll probably put in a zip code or a radius that you want to use, but whenever you're using that part of the app.
Okay, hopefully that answered that for you. Now, Rennie, Sam went to do his first attempt at wholesaling a few days ago, and the owner asked if he could take the contract home to discuss it with his wife.
Of course.
We never heard back from him. Should we not allow people to take the contract home? Is the question.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm emailing the contract.
Yeah.
I'm going to email my contract via DocuSign. So absolutely. I mean, people want to take it home, and you want to get them to try to make an answer then and there, because of course they get home with their wife, and now they come up with a whole nother plan that outside of what y'all talked about. But hey, that happens. I mean, some people are that tight, with their wife or their family that everything's going to be discussed, as a pair. So all you can do is follow up with them next day. Don't give them too much time to think about it. Call them up the next morning and say, hey, just want to just check on that contract, see, if we can finalize that this morning, so I can, move forward with getting this thing closed out. So, it happens.
Okay. So we're gonna go to World of Hearts. Are you ready? Yep. You smiling.
Oh, you ready? That's what's up, man.
How you doing?
Hey, my question was, I've been reaching out to Flipman here and there, but I had a guy that came at me and he was saying that, look, man, I got a house. At first he valued it at like $142,000, but then when I went and ran the comps like Flipman teaches, and this guy, it looked like every house in that area was selling at under 100,000. Probably the highest was like 115,000. So then when I went back at him at the flip, man, like, that's not a deal. He's like, well, man, I'm trying to JV. I got site control. I didn't know what site control was. So he said, I got site control over the area. I need 60,000. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that sounds better than 135 because it don't make sense. But he like 60,000. So I'm like, I don't know how to really approach him where I can, because I was like, well, why don't I JV? You asking me to get a JV for you, but why don't I just JV if you want the 60,000 and then I try to find a buyer,
So you're saying he has it under contract. His contract.
He called it site control.
Yeah, that's what
I like it.
Hey, I like that though. That was very slick.
Site control. This is my block. This is
hey,
all these blocks
He got the contract. This is what we need to know. He got the contract.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
I'm thinking
he got the contract because he said site control. I said, what the heck is site control, man?
My man. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Wow.
If he threw out 130 and it's a $100,000 neighborhood, you're dealing with someone that you know more than them.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. He probably doesn't have a contract. If he does, it's probably with another wholesaler. And he's just throwing 60 out there. And I wouldn't even, somebody like that, I wouldn't even fool with him. Because, he's in La La Land. You don't throw 130 out as a wholesaler and you know it's a $100,000 neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
That's what I was looking at. I'm like, when I ran the comps, I'm like, this just ain't making sense, because when he gave me the comps, his comp said 200,000, and I said 200,000. You only got one house within a 5.5 mile radius, even at 2,000.
Oh, he said his comp said.
I got one word for you. I'm gonna spell it: BLOCK. Well, 2 words: HIM. Block him.
I know.
He getting because he's
naive. He's just trying to flip a property. He just put 60,000 on top of it without really doing his numbers. That's he's just naive. One thing you can do is try to just go around him, not go around him, but hey, he don't have his stuff together. So sometimes if you know that you have an end buyer already in place, this person in the middle, something's just not right. Either talk to him about getting to the actual person who has the contract, who owns the property, and y'all can just try to split something in the middle, or you can give him a fee like that. If you feel that this is a good deal for you, try to get him out the way or control that middle guy, because he just don't know. And we run into that a lot. You know, I'll overprice his property. I'm surprised you even entertained it.
I mean, I did it because this would have been my first property, and I didn't really know what. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I've been listening, I've been studying, I went out there, you know, and been doing everything that I needed to do, and I'm still studying. Like I told him,
well, hey,
let's study this up here in Atlanta.
Hey, man, move on from this cat.
I will then.
Yeah, move on. He's in La La Land. Mr. Site Control is in La La Land. I hope he's watching this. Site Control. I like the name. I like that.
Right.
I like Site Control. Ooh, he made that one up.
Site Control.
He probably have no control of the contract.
Yeah, probably no control.
Right. I'm like, when did you say it? I said something. He said
anybody that say that has no control.
He said, make sure you tell whoever you gonna get to be a buyer that I got site control. I said, well,
no. He ain't even got his up on the contract. I can tell he ain't got it.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Ooh, wait.
Right.
Tell him jump on a Thursday live so we can school him now, dude.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God. I'm glad I caught y'all. I couldn't wait till y'all got on. I kept on trying to catch y'all.
Yeah, that's crazy. And no, it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. The more deals that you have, the more opportunity you have.
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to go down to the I can't go down to the up here in Atlanta. They closed. I'm in Gwinnett County, and they closed the sheriff office. I was trying to get the information like that I want offline, and I just don't know how to go about it. I've been having problems trying to get it offline, like the list that I want, this particular kind of list that I want to get, you know, offline up here in Georgia because they closed. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if you guys know.
What type of list are you trying to? What type of list are you trying to access?
Huh?
What type of list are you trying to access?
I want to get the utility list and I want to get the code violations list.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
Yeah, so that's the list that I'm looking to
code violation. That's a twist.
Yeah,
okay.
So them lists that I'm trying to get, you know, I know a lot of people ain't looking into that, so I'm trying to come in the back end.
Yeah.
All
right.
All right, well, thanks for calling in and joining us on live this Thursday. Make sure you join us every week. And
I will.
I will
keep y'all informed and keep y'all in tune with where I'm going.
I see now you in Atlanta. Ooh, be careful. Be careful. They will sell you anything.
I know.
Run your numbers out here. Run your numbers.
All right, love. Good night.
All right.
Site control.
Site control.
Gator.
Woo! And it had to be Atlanta. Oh, it had to be Atlanta. They making up all types of terms out here.
Go ahead into the terminology.
That's a go.
Okay. Before we get to New Dignity, I see you have your screen profile pic, but go ahead and get ready to join us. Berniki, I see several questions, and I'm going to use Joe, who's in SoCal, but oftentimes we get it weekly about, do I need to go ahead and have my LLC before I start? And I know oftentimes we tell our listeners that, hey, if it means you getting an LLC or you getting started and getting out there with your creative marketing, and that's the $100 that determines, you know, bandit signs or an LLC, go for the bandit signs. Get that first check under your belt, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Use what you have. You know, no, it's not a necessity. It's not something you have to have. It's just best business practices. But when you first started, you have to use what you have. If you only have so many bricks, you use those bricks until you can, you know, multiply more. So all I do recommend, use what you have. If you got to put it in your name, it's solely fine. But as you make that money, invest back into your business, because if you make money in your name, that's regular income taxes. If you make money in your business, you can write expenses off and lower your tax liability. So there's a reason why we do it, but you don't need it to start. Use what you have. I will always say use what you have. I posted not too long ago my first property, and you can tell that I was naive and I was young because I bought it in my name. So at the end of the day, I use what I had, you know, so use what you have.
All right, there you have it. I don't know. I have to refresh. New Dignity, you're up. Are you there?
Hey, I didn't even know I was joining y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
You want
do you have a question?
Well, yeah. So me and my boyfriend are actually trying to get started, but we don't know like where to begin. So I see like the drive for dollars. We're currently in California, but we kind of want to do virtual because California, we're in Northern California, and it's extremely like high out here. Like it's
No,
very high.
no, you're in the right place.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Let me tell you why
You're in the best place.
You're in the best place. You'll do exactly what your Renika and I do, Adrian do, and our checks will be one thing, and yours will be double. They do the exact same thing.
Okay.
People still die. They do die in California, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They get divorced out there too, right?
Yeah.
They lose job or incomes out there too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You think you got some tired landlords out there, tired of people not paying them?
I'm almost sure we do.
All right. You got some houses that need a lot of repairs.
Yes.
Okay. You got probably, you don't probably know this, but I'm sure you're going to assume you got people with some medical issues, medical bills piling up.
Yeah, I work for Kaiser, so
yeah.
Kids
tuition, I think you get the point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Is that life, just life creates motivated sellers, right?
Right.
Your job as a wholesaler / investor / marketer is to make sure you're doing a good job of letting people know you exist, aka marketing, advertising.
Okay.
And the numbers will take over from there. Is that
because
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, as a wholesaler, you're not taking possession. So you're probably thinking, oh, I don't want this debt. I don't want to, put all this in my name. We're not really taking possession. We're putting on the contract and we're signing our contract to the end buyer. So what I would do if I lived in California, I'd focus on, let me find the money. It's too much money in California. It's too many people that understand investing in California. You talking about, so I will become their bird dog to create their real estate portfolio that all of them must have. There's no rich person in California that don't have real estate in their portfolio. So the key is how do I surround myself with the rich people, and so I can, more wealthy people, so I can find really good cash buyers. And then they may say, yeah, I want to invest in Oakland, but I'm never there. So they don't have any boots on the ground. They're not, they may do, but they're too up in the sky to find properties in Oakland and find properties in these other areas. So at the end of the day, I would reverse wholesale out there and try to find people that want to invest in certain areas. And then you go and find those properties in the area where they want to invest. And to me, it's a gold mine. I wouldn't. California.
I'm gonna give you a better example. I thought I mentioned it last week or the week before. This investor reached out to me about the commercial side. I have a couple commercial videos I got out there. I obviously like what I had to say or whatever. I'm not the only game out there, but he wants to find triple net properties. And he's a little bit more risk averse. That means you'll take more risk. I don't know what that means, but anyway, the one that you'll take a little bit more risk, whatever that is, right? And so he has money. You know what I'm saying? He made a lot of money in another form of real estate or whatever. And my point is, it's so much money out there, right? And it's see, the only reason, so what you have to understand about real estate are just products, period. The only reason somebody can afford something, I mean, the only reason people pay for something because they can afford it. Whereas a D neighborhood in Birmingham is 50 to 60 grand, 65 grand. A D neighborhood out there is probably 250, 300. But the only reason is, quote unquote, those supposed to be the poor people, right?
Right.
Your poor ain't my poor in Birmingham. Right. Balling, you know what I'm saying? If you making the same salary or whatever. So the only reason people can pay $200,000 and $300,000 for a house in quote unquote a D neighborhood is because they can afford it. Right? Same thing with the number of investors. There are no less number of percentage-wise of investors in Birmingham versus San Francisco or Oakland, that Northern Bay Area or whatever. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, right? So the money's out there. That's Silicon Valley. Am I right? That's
oh my God. Yeah, Silicon, LA, Hollywood. I would post
that's
those
where
shops.
outside of New York. That's where all the money at. You know what I'm saying?
All the money in, exactly. That's what the investors at. People that investing is, people that's really investing out of California, New York. I mean, that's for y'all. You got to go mine.
My whole focus is about to change. Once me and my man pull off these couple of deals, we just agreed on another property today. My whole focus is going to be finding twins California. Like him, quadruplets, whatever. I don't know how to go above what's quintuplets, 5, whatever the numbers after that. Right. I'm going up to all of them. Adrian knows, she know everything. But yeah, I'm trying to find people like him. He know I'm wholesaling just off the rip or whatever. But he didn't want to spend the time doing what I know how to do, which is knowing how. He sent me the proof of farm, a lot of money. Send me the proof of farm. That's all I need. It's all. I know how to handle these brokers.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna take this. They hit me back. I sent them some. I said, all right, okay, cool, or whatever. We ain't gonna any properties I had to make offers on. They'll hit me back. Send over your best number.
This is it. Y'all got a counter?
Yeah, don't got a counter. I've already sent it to you.
All right.
Hey, I know we said something over ridiculous.
Right.
Yes, I said over a ridiculous number.
Give me your best counters.
So
that reverse wholesale works.
I got on a soapbox there, but I think you get my point, baby girl.
No, that was good.
All right, and then my last question is: do you suggest to have business credit before you start wholesaling?
You don't need credit at all.
Okay. I was wondering because I had somewhat of a mentor who was saying that it's good to have business credit before you start wholesaling, but I didn't know how true that was.
He must be thinking about flipping.
Yeah, he must probably think about you flipping instead of wholesaling. Now flipping, I mean, you don't need business credit to flip either. The key is that this is a business and you want to be able to leverage your credit to invest back into your business in any way. So, but you don't need business credit to wholesale. You don't need business credit to fix and flip either. So, but you want to begin to just have good credit because it's going to be that time where you want to tap into your credit. You may want to do that flip. You may need a little extra, out there in California where we doing $100 earnest money. They may look at you all crazy with $100 earnest money. You may have to do $1,000 earnest money or $2,000 or $3,000 or whatever the case may be. So being able to maybe leverage your credit to handle that earnest money can help facilitate. So now you're not taking that money out of your liquidity and you're able to just swipe it and wait and pay it off once you close your deal. So, I encourage you to leverage your credit, if possible, just build your credit.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
No worries.
You're welcome.
Joining us tonight. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So, hey, dear. And Joe, I see you. Yeah, you're up next. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to read Hadir's question. How do you show the house to your end buyer with the original seller still living in the house? What do you say to the original seller without alerting them that you will be wholesaling it? Now, I know oftentimes we're talking about a tenant being in the house. We talk about the buyer not wanting to give you the key and want to be present. But the owner, which is the seller, sitting in their room watching TV. What do you say?
I guess I'll start it off. What I like to do, I try to control the narrative. So it's very important that you prompt everybody and make sure everybody understands what's going on. So, I probably would tell the seller, hey, I got my partner want to come by, just take a look at it. It's very important, they lay their eyes on it as we do our numbers and be able to finalize this and get this thing closed for you as soon as possible. And they're not even thinking, because that is my partner. My end buyer is my partner. So if he do say something, hey, partner, or whatever case may be, all right, I also would say, hey, if you just give us a chance to just go through the house, we'll be in and out your way in about 10 or 15 minutes. We don't want to bother you. So, just give about 10 or 15 minutes to just go in here and be able to look around and take some pictures. So most importantly, I want to control the seller because I can control the buyer. The buyer is not going to, most buyers and most people don't go just talking to people. And then you want to control the buyer too and say, hey, there's a tenant in here. We want to, make sure we in and out. So we're just going to go in and out, just be really quiet. Don't say too much. We're just gonna go in and out, take pictures so you know exactly how it looks. And then once we get outside and get outside in the, you know, maybe in the yard or something, we can start talking about the deal. But we want to just control that narrative and try to keep them separate as possible. Because when they start talking, somebody could say something, it could be a red flag. And it just open up more problems than you need.
Okay, so you got anything? Owner living in the house?
If the owner's living, how to handle it?
Yeah.
Well, next question.
Yeah, we good.
We're good. She asked.
Joe, you're up. How you doing today?
Hey guys, how are you?
Well, where are you calling from?
Well, 3 weeks ago I was playing video games 8 hours a day, and now I'm trying to focus on wholesaling because I know it's true and I can make money here. So the thing is, I think I have information overload, and I'm in SoCal, and I watched some videos that said that apparently I need to have an LLC and I need a double close in order to do a deal here in Southern California. So I want to know if there's any tips or advice that you could give me.
Totally false.
False? All right.
Yes. I have too many guys out there I know personally that don't do it that way, that are killing the game out there. They may be referring to when you're dealing with a REO, which means a foreclosure. But when you're just dealing with Joe the seller, just dealing directly with the owner, no banks involved, just regular people that own real estate that want to sell it, motivated to sell cheap, no, not necessary. Now you want to establish an LLC because you're running a business, but you don't have to have it to start. You can do a deal, then maybe establish it if the resources are not there to start, set it up or whatever. But no, you don't have to double close. That's just a preference in a lot of cases or whatever. And sometimes it just depends on the seller, the buyer. You just have to sort of fill them out or whatever. But, definitely not having to have an LLC and always having to double close. No, that's not like just a California thing. That's just deal by deal.
Okay. Yeah, I was stuck because I thought that was true. And so I could just do a normal assignment of contract?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the only question I had. All the other questions were answered by your videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
No problem, man.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right, God bless. Bye.
Yes, sir.
Bye. All right, James, you sitting there looking like you just bought. Did you see James? I swear the face before they get on. He's so funny. Hey, James, you sitting there like a kid.
Hey, thank you for putting me on. Thank you for putting me on. I just had a quick question, because I'm in Southern California. I'm new to the wholesaling game. Haven't even got my first deal yet, but I've been educating myself. And one of the ways that I was thinking I can get my way into this game was educating myself through creative financing. And how I got the idea was through your one of your videos, Ty, when you had Jamil Damji and Pace Morby on there. So they brought that up, and I just literally been educating myself with, creative financing, subject to deals and all of that. So basically my question is, I really love your purchase and sales agreement contract. My question is, if I were to get a wholesale deal by subject to or any type of creative financing, how would I add an addendum, and what is your suggestion of adding an addendum to your purchase and sales agreement contract?
Yeah, you just simply do an exhibit A or an addendum. I like to do just an exhibit A, and it'll detail out the terms. That's it. And you'll just print that somewhere on the front, maybe near the price, see exhibit A, to detail out the terms or whatever. So it's just, or it could be a DLC addendum or whatever. And it'll just detail out the terms. It'd be as simple as the price, the down payment, if any, the length of the terms, the time frame, like the number of months or years. Normal people put it in months. The amount, the actual payment amount, any special provisions or any additional terms on it, the interest rate, if one is included or whatever, whether you have language there about no prepayment penalty or whatever, and all that'll be written up in the actual document that transfer ownership or whatever, because the contract is only to initiate the actual deal You know, hey, this is what we're going to do. It's not the actual paperwork that's going to do the deal. It's just to initiate the deal that you'll sign different paperwork, and that gives the attorney a foundation on what the deal, you know, the transaction on and how it's going to be handled as far as them owner financing the property to you or whatever. So.
Okay, perfect. Because I figure in such a competitive market such as California, Southern California, I was thinking my main motivation is to go after pre-foreclosure list or even homes that are in foreclosure to possibly do a pitch a sub-2 deal to them to possibly maybe help the motivated seller out that way, and then maybe flip that to a cash buyer who maybe or doesn't have the credit to get a traditional financing. But, and I also was through my research, I found out that I couldn't do certain subject to deals depending on the mortgage that the owner has, that the seller has, like if it's an FHA or if it's a reverse mortgage. And the reason for that is they say be very cautious of the due on sale clause.
Well, all mortgages have that due on sale clause. Some will trigger faster than others. Most won't trigger at all. At the end of the day, man, they're in the business of collecting interest.
Right. Gotcha.
Right. You're making that payment. They don't care where it's coming from.
Yeah, a lot of times the property is still in the seller's name. You're doing owner financing, so you want to make sure they're making those payments any means necessary. If they send in your receipt, because there's been plenty of times where I had clients who got themselves into those owner financing situations, sending that monthly rent or that monthly payment to the seller, and they're not paying it. And then next thing you know, you got a eviction letter or foreclosure letter on your property because the money that you've been owner financing, they're not even paying the note. They're pocketing it. So you want to make sure that you're covered in all those scenarios if you almost take control of making sure that note is paid or making sure they send your receipt saying it's paid.
Would you recommend getting a mortgage servicing company to pay the mortgage just so that way it's being paid?
No, I wouldn't. Because it's already at a mortgage servicing company. The one that's collecting the debt. So it's really just because you really don't want to send them any information about owner financing. They have sold their property or whatever without the lender knowing. So you really don't want to contact them and add anything extra. It's kind of just making sure that you all are on the same page or making sure or putting those mechanisms in place and make sure that payment is made. Because it's totally in the name, but you can't know.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Y'all answer my questions. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good luck. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, now Rennie, Carol Foster wants us to make sure that we post the info on Renikia's credit repair program, but that's only like a little smidgen of what your company can do. The idea is to get your credit right so you can start using your credit to build your generational wealth and using your credit as the stepping stone to do that. So what services does your company allow in addition to the credit repair program? So if someone started point A, my credit jacked up, I ain't at the required 680. What could you do to help me there? And then once I do get my credit score up, then what options are available for me?
Absolutely. So, I'm really trying not to get into credit repair, but I have a credit repair service that's kind of connected to one of my mentorship services. So basically, as you learn, we're going to fix your credit at the same time type of scenario, but I don't really sell it all by itself. But most importantly, credit is the gateway to wealth. Credit and investing is the gateway to wealth. So you want to make sure your credit at a 680, 700 plus. And once it's there, what we specialize is just creative financing on financing your real estate deal or helping you leverage your credit to, buy into the wholesale services and services that you need or the resources that you need to take your business to the next level. I want us to understand there's no wealthy or successful person that have done this with 100% of their cash. They have always found a way to use other people's money or finance it using their credit. So, understand the power of credit is investing back into your business. It has more value than, swiping that card for shoes or clothes and stuff like that. So, so what we do is specialize in creative financing. If you do want to leverage your credit, we have many different financing options as far as leverage or credit, just for unsecured credit up to $150,000. We're able to do fix and flips, buying homes and new construction. But most importantly, we show you, say for instance, you don't have your down payment. I'll show you how to leverage your credit for the down payment. So now you can go out there and do your fix and flip, but you got to have good credit to do these things. So it's very important that you know, you focus on that. But if you want to take advantage of any of those, go to fundmynextdeal.com. You can also find me on Facebook or Instagram, as you see right there on your screen, or email me if you have any questions.
All right, there you have it, guys. Renika can be on social media across all platforms. Absolutely advise you guys to take advantage of that. So let's see here. Okay, so we have concluded our night tonight.
What?
We'll be here next Thursday. If you take a moment, everyone look at the bottom of your screen. It said stop. It says, hey, y'all.
Oh, we gotta do the birthday song right now.
Very happy birthday. July always saves the best for last, 7/31. So not today. Make sure you're wishing this guy who's giving free gifts to each one of y'all every week, every freaking day. Happy birthday.
Adrian, we gotta do the urban version of the birthday song.
Okay. Here we go.
I can't do it now. I'm gonna let you lead this. You know?
The Stevie version, or are we doing like the Ruby Tuesday version?
We doing the happy birthday.
Let's go to you.
Happy birthday to you. I need everybody singing this thing. I can't sing though.
Happy birthday to you. Look at the gist of it. We ain't putting our
yes.
Okay,
wow.
So make sure
happy birthday, son.
Next Thursday. Go to doyoulater.com to get that free contract, to plug and chug your numbers, and also take advantage of the 5-day trial period from doyoulater.com. Rewatch this video later. Make sure you're hitting that like button. It seems like we have several of you guys on tonight. Greatly appreciate it. So like, share, subscribe, ask Flipman across all social media platforms. Ty, anything else?
Oh, nothing at all. Make sure if you still want to take advantage of the free courses, doing the 50 TikTok duets. You don't know what I'm talking about. I'm giving away my courses on wholesaling houses and apartment builders, trying to build up my TikTok following a little more. Just do 50 duets. You don't know what I'm talking about. Just text me and I'll send you over a video that explains and give you a demonstration. Even if you don't have an account, it's free. So make sure you just join us next week.
All right. Join us next week, guys. It's time to get the birthday shenanigans started. We'll see you on the flip.
Yes.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.